After 2 weeks off, we're finally back here on the Coach's Corner for the first episode of the new year, as always, at the Tivoli Tap House. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm not Tony Almanza, alongside not Connor Dockery. Catherine Neitenbach, how's your winter break?
You know, it was actually great. I got to relax, catch up on some sleep, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm
also very well recharged. I was starting to run into the ground a little bit towards the end of the semester. But who do we have on the first show of 2019?
Well, you know, our basketball teams were back at it this past weekend after the long break, so we've got plenty of hoops talk to get to. We're going to start with the women's team and talk to head coach Tanya Haave. Then we're going to talk men's basketball, which means we're going to bring on head coach Bahl. And we're going to get to know senior forward Jaryn Taylor from the men's team. So if you like basketball, stay tuned.
Well, I'm always happy to have hoops back in season. So before we talk to Coach Haave, let's recap what happened this past weekend in Roadrunner sports. We'll start with the men as they took on Fort Lewis at the Auraria Event Center last Friday. The Roadrunners were led by junior guards Drew Sasa and Garrett Carter, who both reached double figures in the first 20 minutes of play. However, the story of the game was MSU Denver crashing the boards, out-rebounding the Skyhawks 48-29. The Skyhawks made a run late, but Coach Bahl's squad held on for the 77-67 victory to make it 5 wins in a row.
The women's team also battled Fort Lewis on Friday night. We know Coach Haave's team loves defense, and her squad held the Skyhawks to just 6 first-quarter points. The offense was led by senior guard Jalen Smith, who led everyone with 25 points. Senior forward Emily Hardigan was impressive with this game, scoring 21 points while pulling down a career-high 17 rebounds. Junior forward Bree Wellington tallied a career-high 17 points, and MSU Denver rolled to a 78-61 victory.
On to Saturday night, and it was the Grizzlies from Adams State up next on the schedule. 8 different Roadrunners scored in the first half, which allowed the squad to build a double-digit lead. But the Grizzlies would claw all the way back, outscoring MSU Denver 40-26 in the second half to take the 68-62 win. It was MSU Denver's first loss in the last 29 days.
The women's team also went toe-to-toe with ASU Saturday night, and their ball movement was incredible in this one. MSU Denver made 24 field goals on 20 assists, which included 11 from Smith. The Denver native came 2 rebounds short of recording a triple-double, scoring 13 points while pulling down 8 boards. Hardigan was stellar again, recording yet another double-double. The Roadrunners throttled the Grizzlies by 24 points and are now 4-3 in conference play.
So now we bring on the head coach of the now 4-3 women's basketball team, Coach Haave. Coach, how was your holiday break?
My holiday was great. Sounds like yours was great too. However, I will say we did get stuck in Aberdeen or Watertown, South Dakota in a blizzard for New Year's Eve. So we made lemonade out of lemons there. We were toasted the new year in. For me, it was at 9 p.m. because I can't stay up that late anymore. But it was, you know, we had to deal with the adversity, so it was a great New Year's. But my Christmas was really great. Great to spend time with family, and like you alluded to, recharging your batteries a little bit.
So when you got back, was there any sense of rust with the team after having quite a few days off?
Oh, there was. I mean, inevitably, we had almost 10 days off. There was a little bit, but that's why I think it was really important that we get to play against Northern State on that Sunday. Granted, we were on the road, but we were able to knock a little bit of rust off and play. And I would rather play, you know, a non-conference game before we get back into conference where, you know, it's pretty intense. So I'm glad that we played. I'm not so glad we got stuck up there, but we did get home, and we got home safe and sound.
Well, we're glad to hear that. All right, so, excuse me. Your team was struggling a little bit before this past weekend. So what were the main areas of focus in order to get your team back on track?
I think the biggest thing, we were struggling scoring. You know, we could stop people, and then the more that we couldn't score, the more it started affecting our defense. So we really focused on every single person being a threat offensively. People were, if we were taking away Jay or taking away Emily when they couldn't score, or someone else, but we needed someone else to step up, or at least everyone being a threat. So that was the main focus offensively for us. And the other thing was, you know, if everyone could be a threat, then we would get better shots, and then thus our shot selection would be better, and then our shooting percentage would be better.
So let's get into the games from this past weekend. You first took on Fort Lewis on Friday night. We know you're a defensive first head coach, and you held the Skyhawks to just 6 points in that first quarter and 24 points in the first half. I know I love defense when I love basketball, so that was a fun game for me to watch.
We'll get you on the staff then.
There we go. I'll be happy to join up.
Good.
What did you see that night that was so effective on that side of the basketball?
I think a real focus of playing for each other and a real focus on the game plan, but really focusing on concentrating on what we're supposed to be doing. I know I'm saying focus, concentrate a lot, but and then playing for each other and a good team defense and a good team offense. So that's what we saw, and it was really nice to see that we were able to stop someone and then started off a little bit slow offensively, but it came around, we stayed with it. So it was really nice to see, especially after we had been struggling so much, and it was nice to see us do it on our home floor.
All right, Coach, so we know you preach defense first and rebounding second, and during this game, Emily Hardigan was on top of those rebounds. What would you kind of like to say about her performance in this game?
You couldn't say enough about her and Jaylyn and our other seniors, but we'll go back to Emily. I had no idea that she had that many rebounds, and then they told me it's like she's 3 away from the school record. She'd been getting hit in the stomach something. She was a little nauseous, and I'm like, I can't put her back in to get the record. But 17 rebounds is impressive. I don't care what level you're on, that's impressive. So she was really fired up. You could tell it in pregame. She was fired up to play for her teammates and play hard. So it was really great, to have 21 points and 17 rebounds. That's quite a feat.
It totally is.
And what was also impressive that night was junior forward Bree Wellington scoring a career-high 17 points off the bench. She talked to us after the game, and she said her broken car magically started up that morning. She hit a half-court shot earlier that day in practice, and she said after those two things happened, she knew it was going to be a good day for her, and it ended up being in a good game. And so it's amazing to see how a little bit of confidence like that can go a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, and she's followed that from the night after. Even we had practice today. You can see a little bounce in her step and what confidence will do for someone. And I knew it was just a matter of time that something like this a game like this was gonna happen for her, to slow down, concentrate, make some shots. So I was so happy for her to see that, because she'd been struggling, and you could tell it was weighing on her mind. So just really pleased for her, and hoping that, and I'm confident that she'll build on that.
All right, so we're going to talk the next game the next day, and the stat that jumps out to us the most is the 20 assists on the 24 field goals made, including that 11 made from Jalen Smith. Can you talk about the ball movement from the team in this game to us?
Well, Adams State was normally a team that played all man-to-man, and they played us almost every possession zone. I mean, and you look at our stats, you could see, it would make sense. I'm surprised we don't see more zone. We're not much of a three-point shooting team, or a threat to shoot a lot of threes. So they were going to force us to beat them from the outside. But I think what that created was that we were able to get the ball around, inside out, reverse the ball, and then get, that's impressive. You get 20 assists on 24 baskets. And then, again, your shooting percentage is going to go up like that. So I think once we had a little bit of a lull at the end of the first half, once we recovered from that, we really started playing very well together offensively.
And in a game like that, where you're in control pretty much from start to finish, you have the chance towards the end of the game to bring in some players who don't normally play as often. For example, Mariah Schrader got in towards the end of the game. In situations like that, what are you looking for as head coach for players like that when they're all on the court like that?
For someone like Mariah as a guard to take care of the ball, run the offense, just be in the offense, take your shots when you have them, and defend well, and just to build a little bit on those 2 minutes that maybe they turn into 3 minutes, then maybe it turns into a shot, but just to build on that 3 minutes to really kind of show, hey, I want more than 2 minutes. I want to get to 3 minutes. I want to get to 4 minutes. And that's the same thing with Morgan Lewis or Abby Josephaitis, some of the players that don't get as much playing time. Lenny's a little bit farther down the road where she might get double-digit minutes. Abby J is the same way, but they're all in the same boat. What can I do to help contribute? And then I can build on my role.
All right, so we're going to talk next week. You're going to head out into Utah this next weekend. So what are some of the things that you're kind of talking to your team about to try and keep that ball rolling and keep those people revved up for this next game?
the same thing. It's playing for each other, a sense of urgency. I felt like we got a little complacent at the end of the first half against Adams. It was upsetting to me. I'm okay. I can deal with, and most coaches can, if you're going to play hard and your attitude is good and you want to be comfortable, but you don't want to be complacent. So we're going to have to go on the road, and we're going to have to tighten our circle because we're going to be playing. It's just us. It's just us. We don't have our home fans. So we're going to have a tremendous amount of concentration, tremendous amount of focus, a tremendous amount of intensity to go on the road, because Dixie is much, much better than their record indicates. And then the next night we're going to Westminster, who is leading the league right now, which I think, along with Mesa, clearly they're the best teams in the conference because they haven't lost in conference play yet. Huge challenge for us. Excited for the challenge. That's what we're talking about. Excited, being excited. Excited to coach, excited to play for each other. That's what we're talking about.
Well, absolutely. Congratulations, Coach, on the weekend sweep, and good luck so much this upcoming weekend on the road.
Thank you, and as always, happy to be here, and Happy New Year to all the people watching.
There we go. Before we take our first break, we're going to bring you our tweet of the week. It comes from our women's basketball team, who celebrated a couple of milestones a few nights ago. Both Jalen Smith and Emily Hardigan recently passed the 1,000-point mark in their MSU Denver careers, while Coach Tanya Haave became the all-time winningest coach in program history. Big congratulations to all three for making their marks on this prestigious women's basketball program. It's time for that break. We're coming right back with more basketball talk on the Coach's Corner.
In the heart of the city, Metropolitan State University of Denver is holding the line on the American dream. Our students come from every background and experience. They are tenacious, purposeful, entrepreneurial. They choose the highest quality and best value in Colorado higher education, and they choose their own roads for more than 70 undergrad and graduate degrees. Relevant, hands-on, and affordable education. Discover your road to success at msudenver.edu.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
I'm Michaela Gonzalez, senior forward from the women's basketball team.
Good addition to the post for Gonzalez, and that one is good for 2.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Before we chat with Coach Bahl, we want to tell you about a great promotion happening right here at the Tivoli Tap House. The next time you're at the airport, you can now visit the Tiv to enjoy all the delicious brews that you drink here at the Tivoli Tap House in downtown Denver. The Tiv is located on the ground floor of the Westin Hotel at DAA, so whether you are leaving or returning to Colorado, you can still enjoy all the great Tivoli beers. Take flight at the Tiv. So now we say hello to Coach Bahl. Coach, great to have you back on the show. How was your winter break?
It was good. Short, but good.
So anytime you have a kind of a long break like that, how much of a concern was rust heading into last weekend's games?
I think it was a big concern, but it was needed. We have a lot of new players, a lot of new faces, and we've been going pretty hard since the start of school. So it was a needed break for everybody. As a coach, you never want to take time off when you're starting to sort of find your groove and starting to play really well, like we were before break. But at the same time, these guys are kids, and they need to go home and see mom and dad, see their friends and family. So in that regard, it was really good for the guys.
We're going to jump right into some of the action from this past weekend. The big number that jumps out to us from Friday night is the rebounding edge of 48-29 over Fort Lewis. Every single player that stepped on the court grabbed at least one board. You got to be really thrilled as a head coach that everyone out there is really hustling for those rebounds.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, but I think our defense as a whole was really good. We got them to miss shots, and that's ultimately what the game's about, is make shots and get the other team to miss. And we did a nice job of really securing those rebounds, which sort of led into our transition offense, which is how we want to play, up and down. So I was very pleased with our guys' effort in terms of rebounding.
So we saw senior forward Jaryn Taylor scoring a season-high 12 points in that one. You told us he might be all the way back from injury. You said he was hurt kind of at the beginning of the season. Most folks may not remember that he scored double-digit points last season for you guys. So having him injury-free finally, how much of a boost is going to prove for this team?
Jaryn's a phenomenal player, and he's a different dynamic that we haven't had at the 4 spot. You know, his ability to score the basketball. He's starting to move a lot better defensively. He's starting to move really well. And he was our best rebounder last year. So you're getting your returning leading scorer and best rebounder. You know, I wouldn't say he's 100% healthy, but I definitely would say he's getting close. So it's just really nice to have him back out there. I mean, he's another dynamic. He's another player that somebody has to worry about.
All right. One of the things that you told us after that game was not to get too satisfied with wins and to keep challenging your players. While winning is the ultimate goal in the end of the day, keeping the players focused as a head coach seems like a nonstop affair to us. To always have goals for them during the wins even.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we've played really well over the past month, in my opinion. You know, we win 5 of the last 6. But unfortunately, there's things that you see that sort of winning masks a lot of things that's sort of happening. You know, we're turning the ball over too much. You know, and we've gotten away with it, and we've won, and we've had some leads, double-digit leads, and teams have crept back into us, and we were always able to pull it out. You know, and as a coach, I mean, I'm happy we won, and I would love to learn off our wins, which we have. And I think that's one area we just need to continue to improve, and that's sort of the maturation process of our team is, you know, can we handle success? You know, when you have 5 games in a row and a team, you're going for your 6th, can you handle the success and treat it like, you know what, no, we've lost 5 in a row. That's how our mentality should be. We got to come out with that fire the next night.
And the following night, Adams State came into town, and they had been playing good basketball in their last few games. You had a double-digit lead for most of the game, but the Grizzlies battled back there towards the end. What were they doing well against your squad that got them back into the game?
You know, they really turned us over. You know, we had 17 turnovers, and again, I mean, that's one of the key statistics we talk about all the time is, you know, not giving the other team other opportunities. I also think we became a little too stagnant offensively. You know, they did a really nice job of slowing us down in the half court, and we didn't get the initial thrust we wanted to in transition. So you got to give credit to Adams State. You know, they came out and they fought back. We're up by 10 for most of the game, and you know, it's one of those things that finally caught up to us. And I'd much rather, like I said, learn off a win, but unfortunately, we have to learn off a loss now.
From your perspective on the sideline, what was the difference down the stretch that allowed the Grizzlies to steal this game?
You know, I thought they just had a couple guys step up and make a couple plays. You know, they made a couple plays down the stretch, some really tough shots. You know, they made some really tough threes towards the end, the guys that typically don't make threes. And that's typically what happens in those types of games. You know, you allow a team to hang in there, you know, that gives them confidence, and you start seeing some bank threes go in. You start seeing some shots that they typically don't make go in. You know, so again, you got to give credit to Adams State, you know, but I also think we shot ourselves in the foot multiple times during that game. It should never came down to that, you know, but, you know, I never want to take credit away from a team that beat us. They came in here and beat us. And we have to learn from that, and we have to wait, you know, 5-6 days before we play again, and hopefully our guys are motivated like they were today in practice to get back on the floor and make it right when we head out to Utah.
And it was your team's first loss in 5 games. And the RMAC is a tough league where there is no such thing as an easy win. What is now the message to your team as you head onto the road this weekend?
You know, we got 7 weeks left of season. You know, you got 15 games left. This is the heart of our season still here. You know, we've sort of positioned ourselves where we haven't necessarily, you know, lost it. We also haven't really taken a hold of it. So we've positioned ourselves sort of middle of the pack. And this is where you start to see the separation. These next, you know, 5-6 games is really going to be the key to our season. And our guys know that. We're focused. And like I told them today, I think they didn't realize how we don't have that much time left. You know, it's 7 weeks. So our sense of urgency has to go up. You know, and from today's practice, if we do what we did today in practice, you know, I think we're going to head in the right direction.
Glad to hear it.
Well, Coach, it's that time again. Before you head out of here, it's time to stump you with some trivia.
Last time I got a bonus point. I believe I got the bonus point. So, okay, go ahead.
So, yeah, for those who don't know, we try to ask coaches, one coach every week, some trivia questions, and we add up all the points at the end of the season, and the coach with the most points will get a cool prize. So, yeah, as you said, we feel like we gave you a little bit of an easy question.
It was an easy one last week, yeah.
We're going to try to ramp up the difficulty here. Are you ready for a more difficult question?
I definitely am, yes.
All right. So here's your question. It's multiple choice. Who is the men's basketball all-time leader in career assists? Is it A, Marquise Carrington, your former teammate, B, Clayton Smith, or C, Adrian Hutt?
I want to say it's Clayton Smith.
You're correct. Clayton Smith, he played from 1999 to 2003.
So you have a bonus question, and you probably can already guess what the question is going to be. But how many career assists did Clayton Smith have? And if you're close, we're going to give you the point.
I'm gonna guess probably 575.
We're going to give it to him? Yeah, we're going to give it to him.
What was the number?
612.
Okay, close.
You were pretty close.
Close, yeah.
So we're going to give you that point.
Yeah, Coach Bahl picking up 2 points. You got
4 points now.
Yeah, you got 4 points total. So we'll see where you are in the standings. Coach, thanks for coming on the show this week, and good luck this weekend in Utah.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got senior forward Jaryn Taylor from the men's basketball team set to join us up next. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back here on the Coach's Corner.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
Distracted driving kills.
What is distracted driving?
Distraction is any time you take your eyes off the road,
your hands off the wheel,
or your mind off driving safely.
Sending or reading a text
takes your mind off the road for 5 seconds.
At 55 miles per hour, that's like driving the entire length of a football field.
Blindfolded.
It's extremely dangerous. In 2014,
over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes.
Pledge to stop distracted driving.
Pledge to stop distracted driving.
Pledge to stop distracted driving.
I'm Jaryn Taylor, senior forward for the men's basketball team.
And there's Jaryn Taylor, so long. He muscles his way in for 2 points.
And you're watching Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Thanks for sticking with us on the Coach's Corner. But before we get to know Jaryn a little bit, we want to remind you to keep up with MSU Denver sports at roadrunnersathletics.com. It's your home for highlights, schedules, interviews, stories, and much more. So don't miss any of the action on roadrunnersathletics.com. So now we welcome in Jaryn Taylor, the men's basketball team, senior guard. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here. Yeah.
So first tell us how your break went. Did you head back home to California? How did you spend your time away from basketball?
I went back home for about 6 days. It was good. Okay. It was a quick break, but I think it was needed to see your friends and family and just go home for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as Connor mentioned, your home is in California.
Yeah.
What was kind of the journey that led you to coming and playing here in downtown Denver?
Well, this is my third school now. At first, I played in LA at a school called Pasadena City College. And then I played at a school called Mount San Jacinto College. They're both junior colleges. And I got a call from Coach Bahl towards the end of my second year to come out here. So, yeah, it's been quite a little journey.
There you go.
So it says on your bio on roadrunnersathletics.com that you are majoring in business management. So tell us what you want to do with that major when you graduate from college.
I actually changed it. It's entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship, okay.
Yeah, my dad has his own business, and I've always liked that aspect of owning your own business. So hopefully I'm able to create my own business when I get older. So,
is there any specific kind of business you're looking at making?
I'm not sure yet, man. Like I do a lot of different things. I actually cut hair on the side, so that's cool. Like I always thought about having my own barbershop one day. So that'd be something I might start one day.
Hey, maybe I could come by, get
a cut, man.
Get a fade there.
Yeah. So we've heard that you've been dealing with an injury since this past season, but Coach says that you might be almost all the way healed. How are you feeling these days, and how excited are you to be able to get back to playing basketball as well as you know that you can?
I'm feeling a lot better. I had surgery back in July, so it's been like, 6 months since then, 5 or 6 months. It was a tough road up to here from the surgery because I had nerve pain going in both my legs, and the surgery helped with that a lot. I still have slight nerve pain, but I feel like I'm like 80 to 85% good right now. So I'm just happy to be out there with my guys, playing hard and doing what I could do. So.
Well, happy to hear it.
Yeah,
it's nice to see you out there contributing and getting back to the level. Your squad has a lot of new faces this season, and a few of those players were on the team last year but were redshirted.
Right.
How has that transition been this year for them, and do you feel this team's finally starting to click?
Yeah, it's cool because the redshirt team last year was really, really good. So that gave us a lot of competition in practice last year, and now just to play with those guys, it just brings us up another level for sure. Like Kendall McIntosh, Marcus Jefferson, and Drew, they've been real good guys for us.
So as a senior on this team and with so many new players trying to learn Coach Bahl's system, have you been out there helping people by being hands-on, or are you more of a lead-by-example type of senior?
I'm not the loudest guy, but this year I've been trying to use my voice more for the younger guys. Just to be out. He asked me to be more vocal, so that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to be a leader. Me and Enrique and Kane, yeah.
And speaking of Coach Bahl, this is your second season with the program, so you've had a lot of time being coached by Coach Bahl. Kind of talk about what kind of coach he is and what does he bring to the table for this program.
He does a lot for us off the court. Like he helps us out whatever we need. We can always go to Coach Bahl, and with that, he is a hard coach. Like in practice, he wants us to be great. He always wants us to be the best players we can be. So with that comes hard coaching and discipline, but he's a really good coach.
So your team has experienced a lot of close games already this season. We know it is a great experience for you guys to go through this type of stuff, especially with the playoff games so close. But what kinds of things are the players learning as they're playing these tight contests, and how are they, or the ones that are decided by just a few points?
I think we're still trying to learn how to win. A lot of these past 3 or 4 games, we've had the lead, and we've lost the lead a little bit. And we got to learn how to, once we're up by 10 or 15, to extend it to 20 or 30. And lately we haven't been able to do that, but we're starting to learn how to do that. So that's what we got to do.
So Jaryn, growing up playing basketball, was there ever a player, maybe in the NBA, that you kind of modeled yourself after, like a role model?
Oh, Kobe's my favorite player. So obviously Kobe, and then Carmelo Anthony is probably who I modeled my game after the most. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony.
What specific aspects from both Kobe's and Carmelo's game do you feel like you bring to each game with the
well, I try to model my game after their post-up skills, like Carmelo Anthony and Kobe. They have great post-game, fadeaways, the way they get to the basket, the way they rebound. That's what I try to model my game after.
Okay. So how did you first start getting into basketball? Where did you start? Was it was a little kid, or did you play a different sport and then get into the basketball later?
Since I was a little kid, my dad has always played basketball. So since I was probably 3 or 4, he's been playing with me, practicing with me, training with me. He was my coach at one point when I was in elementary school, and I've played AAU basketball in high school. So.
Did your dad play in college as well?
No, he actually didn't. He only played. He didn't play any high school or college basketball, but he loves basketball. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you have an all-time favorite basketball moment? Do you have a game winner? Do you have a nice chase down block? What's a favorite moment you remember?
Probably in high school. We played a rival school that's about 5 minutes from us. They're called Redlands East Valley Wildcats, and they had a really good player on their team. And we beat them in overtime. I had 30-some points, and it was a big win for us. That was probably my biggest games of my high school career. It was great.
All right. Well, Jaryn, we appreciate you joining us, and good luck with on the road this weekend and the rest of your season.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Before we get out of here, let's tell you what's coming up this weekend in Roadrunner Sports. Our basketball teams are back on the road this weekend, and they'll head to the Beehive State of Utah. First, they'll head to St. George to take on Dixie State this Friday night. The women will tip off at 5:30, the men at 7:30. Then it's on to Salt Lake City to battle the Griffins from Westminster, also at 5:30 and 7:30. Check out RoadrunnersAthletics.com for the video links so you can catch all the action from the comfort of your home. That'll do it for this edition of the Coach's Corner. We want to thank Jaryn Taylor, Coach Bahl, and Coach Haave for joining us this week. I'm Connor Dockery. Thanks for Catherine
Thank you. I had a great time.
Co-host usually what I'm doing with Tanya Haave out, so
I'm gonna take your spot.
Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week here on the Coach's Corner.